Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for stopping by today, and we're like fresh whole grain bread out of the oven. Starting the week, we're all ready to go, and been in studio for a little while here, working with Gary, coming on air, and always being prepared and talking about ideas, how to make the show better, how can we connect better, how can we help you better with your health and what we provide to you on this show. And it's not just information. Hopefully it's information that can help you make better choices. And on Friday, I happened to go by the office, and I ended up in the warehouse, and I was sitting on a crate, and Gary was there, and he said, hey Doc, why don't we do a little video about the weekend? And, do your take on how I can do better on the weekend, because he's really trying to lose weight. And I've been on him about it now. And so we shot a little video, and you'll find that on Facebook, right, Gary?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's on your Facebook. It's on my Facebook. It's on both of the. It's on LTN's Facebook also. So
how many
on all three?
How many views did we get on that?
We're at about 340 right now.
Okay.
Altogether, yeah.
And I did some, and we did some don'ts, right, Gary?
Exactly.
Gary said, what shouldn't I do over the weekend?
And I thought that was more important than what I should do, because a lot of people know what they should do. Yeah. It's the what I shouldn't do.
Well, I gave three simple things. One, don't cheat. And I explained on the video why. Secondly, don't go to restaurants. Stay out of the restaurants on the weekend, unless you find one that you can go and order something healthy. Thirdly, don't go to bars. Why? Because drinking alcohol, those are lethal, stealth, get you fatter than nobody's business carbs.
Well, that was a lot of things too. A lot of people don't know not to drink their calories.
And the alcohol's loaded with calories, and he kept saying, that's right, Doc, no bars. And I said, yeah, and no candy bars either. So we had a little fun. How long was that video? About 2 minutes?
About 2 minutes. But one of the things that I thought was interesting about that whole video is the fact that there was actually people commenting on like a little type of pat on the back. Hey, you can do it.
You can do it. And they were encouraging. And we were sitting on a crate. There was nothing. We were sitting in the warehouse, man. And it was just that organic. My point is this. In helping people, so you have to make the message simple and meaningful. When you start going in, we can get into it on here. I can get into the chemistry. I've taken my chemistry courses, my anatomy course. We can do all of that. Now, if you suffer from insomnia, I can help. That'll cure it. And put you to sleep. Now, we do get into the chemistry. We do get into the anatomy, the physiology. We get into it, but you have to do it in a way that resonates with people. And so I just want to let you know that that's on my mind. We're always trying. It has to be entertaining. Entertaining doesn't mean funny, necessarily. It means engaging and to pull people in and give them a reason for listening. So we're working hard at that. And we're trying to give you every way under the... We don't have carrier pigeons. When I grew up, Mr. Schultz, Harry Janicki's dad, Mr. Janicki, had pigeons, and he would fly them on the weekend. We had so much fun with those pigeons. We don't have carrier pigeons, but we do have...
We do have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram now, and you can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. And you can follow us on... Now, did you post anything on Twitter this weekend?
Yes, I did. I had 2 posts.
You had 2 posts on Twitter. Okay.
I did.
And that's at Dr. Garko.
I sent you an email. It was Friday night. I sent you an email. I said,
I throw my phone in I leave 5:00. I leave my phone in the car. I said,
Gary,
I try to calm down and not.
I was working. I put 2 posts on Twitter. And then I put a post up that said, too much content, not enough container equals I can't get into a bikini and I need to go on a diet. Listen to Let's Talk. I got a bunch of hits on that.
Okay, so there was 2 things that were brought up. One, eating on a budget as a student. That was a big question that was brought up by everybody in the warehouse.
I'm going to do a post on that. How can college, we're going to put it on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. How can people...
I couldn't believe everybody came up and asked you that. They're like...
It's not only teenagers, it's elderly.
Yeah.
Because some of them are struggling and they want to buy good food. They want to take supplements and they don't have enough money. Right. I have been in I have been in the grocery store and I have seen elderly people at the checkout put items on the side. When the lady said one time to the cashier, I have to put something because I have to go over and get my prescription. I don't have enough money.
Right.
You know what? That's wrong.
It's disconcerting.
That's not right. We shouldn't. Why should an elderly person? She's making a choice between her prescription drugs and something to eat. So I can figure that out too. How can the elderly on a fixed budget do better? And I can even show them how to get supplements at a good price.
Well, one of the things that was a steady diet for me going through college was ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles aren't too bad. Just don't put the butter.
The butter in that the packet has all that sodium in them.
I know.
But I learned like I would take them and put mixed the cheap mixed frozen vegetables in them.
It's good.
And that's what I ate with them.
It's good.
A little garlic, and that was it.
Now that I said it on air, you remind me to do this. There are more than because I have when I was doing a lot of public appearances, elderly would come up to me, the elderly folks, and say, Dr. Garko, how can I get supplements? I hear you talk, but I can't afford them. I said, the first thing you need to do is shop in a health store that discounts them. And not cheap ones, but the brand name vitamins.
Well, we give away a gift card every day. $25 gift card.
Every day in the last segment of the second hour. So I'm going to do a little post on that.
Okay.
And we'll do a post on college students, how to eat on a college diet, and how to eat on a fixed income. How to eat and get supplements on a fixed income. So that's where we're sort of at with this. I want to share that with you to let you know where our mind is. And don't forget to download our app. That'll get you in touch with us. That'll connect you to me, to the show. You'll get some discounts on vitamins. You download the app. It's only 3 buttons. So it's very good. I want to thank the fellows in IT for doing that.
Okay, they put that together. They put that together well for people that have a hard time dealing with technology, and it's very easy to work with. You have 3 buttons. 1 is the videos, the past videos from the show. 2 is the way to you can save if you go to Vitamin Discount Centers online.
Yeah.
And 3rd is the way you can get a hold of us. And you're the one who actually answers that. We don't have, we have an IT department, but we don't have somebody that actually answers stuff for you. You do it yourself.
You contact us. We love hearing from you. And today's Monday, and I have an appointment today.
You have, yes, big appointment.
Yeah. And it ties into the story that I'm going to tell you about coming up after we come through these messages. And don't underestimate the power of communication and interaction. Don't underestimate it. When I come back, I'll explain. It can make a difference. It could even add years to your life in a very important way.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day, giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Welcome to this beginning of the week edition of Let's Talk Nutrition. Love being here with you. So much fun to do this. A lot of work, but we love it. And I'm delighted.
You had a rough day today.
It's I would rather go to a company picnic than what I have to do today.
Are they going to give you that shot in the belly again?
Yes. Today's chemo day, and this is my third round in the. This is the second treatment of chemo, and this is done for prevention.
I think that pin is about the size of that needle.
Yeah, you have to show them on the camera. There it is. Yeah, the tip of that. Yeah, it was pretty long. And what it's for, they have nausea medication, and sometimes they put it in the bag, the intravenous bag, but now they're trying something different, and they inject it. And the needle looks like a 29 gauge, like a 35 gauge screwdriver.
Well, you know what that needle, they use that needle for besides doing that, don't you? That's the size of needle that you run into when you medicate a horse. You put it in the vein in their neck.
Well, it was pretty funny when
and I wasn't going to say anything. I was like, "You're getting a horse needle, Doc," but the
first time Gary came with me, and there's a reason why we're sharing this, because there's a story today just about this. First time I invited him to come with me. It was my first dose on this second round of chemo, and I said, I'd like you to come with me and be in the chemo room. I want you to experience this. And I took him, and it was an eyeful for him. And then he saw what they were doing, and he saw this needle. She said, Dr. Garko, we're going to do something. I had to sign off on it. We're going to give you a different way to anti-nausea medication today. And could you please read this? And I read it, and then I signed off, and she pulls out the kit. And Gary saw the
It said Tampa Bay Downs on the side of
it. Tampa Bay Downs, for those of you who don't know, is a racetrack for horses. And they gave me the shot. And so he got an eyeful. But there's a story today, and I asked him to come with me, not only for him to learn something, but I wanted to talk with him. Turns out, there's a story trending this morning. Headline, social interaction could boost chemotherapy's effectiveness. This is for those of you who know someone or yourself who has gone through cancer or is going through it now. This new research seems to indicate that social interaction, communication, can have a positive effect on a person's chance of survival, no less, after being treated for cancer. Cancer, of course, remains as one of the leading causes of death in our country. Heart disease is number one. And this is not only across in the United States, but it's across the globe. Now, it is true, cancer survival rates have improved pretty well over these past several years. However, they point out in the press release for the study that not too much is known about social interaction and whether it has any bearing on the effectiveness of common therapies, cancer therapies such as chemotherapy. So this group of researchers from the National Human Genome Research Institute, in collaboration with the University of Oxford in the United Kingdom, so these are not some fly-by-night outfits. They wanted to take a look at the impact of social interaction during chemotherapy on the patient's survival rates. I have spent now, 28 hours plus 2, that's 30. Today will be 32 hours in the chemo room after today. I have seen plenty. I've seen poor souls come in there by themselves at death's door, nobody with them. I have seen loving couples together. I have seen children bringing in their parents. I have seen parents bringing in their children or their child. Most of the people in the chemo room are by themselves.
That just amazes me.
Okay. Now.
Well, there's one thing that was brought up that you said about the cabs. The lady that brought the cabs. Do you know that they will not pay, even though they're going to the same spot?
Right.
Most Medicaid, Medicare will not pay for someone to ride with somebody to a doctor's appointment. They're going to this. It's not like it's extra gas.
I know. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense. So what they did was, oh, by the way, this was published in the journal Network Science. So they wanted to look at whether patients' 5-year survival chances were affected by interacting with peers who also underwent chemotherapy and survived. This is interesting. They looked at the medical records of almost 5,000 cancer patients who are undergoing chemotherapy treatment in medical facilities in Oxford, United Kingdom. The patients were around 60 years of age on average, and 44% of them were male. The rest were female. The researchers they mentioned in the press release, they wanted to take a look at co-presence in a chemotherapy ward. Co-presence, in other words, having somebody there. So they created a network of patients that could co-inhabit in such a ward. Then they considered the total amount of time that the patients spent in each other's company. So, to determine social influence, the scientists weighted the co-presence of immediate neighbors while also considering the 5-year mortality rate. When we come back, I'm going to tell you what they found. This is not medication that costs $1,000 a month, This is just being in the presence of another. We'll be right back.
Looking for the perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Nutrition wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing.
We were watching a show of the karate videos.
Yeah, going to have a world-renowned martial arts expert on the show at some point. We're going to try to get him booked. I've known him for 30 years, Mark Russo, and it's a wonderful way to get exercise, and we'll talk about that at some other point. But
well, you know, I'm trying everything now. I've done yoga, and I'm doing some walking, and then Trevor's did some MMA with me, and
he has a wonderful studio, and he's one of the best of the best. So, and it's a busy week for me. Today's chemo, and then tomorrow you're going to be on 970 with Jack and Ted. Yeah,
at 8:10 a.m.
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow morning, right before my show. I'm going on. I was invited to go on AM Tampa Bay, 970 WFLA, and Jack Harris and Teddy. I've known them for years, and their executive producer Aaron. Knowing that lad since he started working here 5 years ago, fresh out of college, and he's now executive producer of that show. They invited me to come on. They feel very privileged, and I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. Jack and Ted.
So we thought about either trying to do it live on Facebook, but it would be
too much.
So we're gonna film it, and then we'll have it posted later on in the day.
So Dominique Ostrander is my guest. I'm going to bring her on. I want to include her in this story. This is something wonderful that you can do for somebody who's going through chemo, and it doesn't cost $1,000 for the prescription or anything like that. And I'll share with you the results of this study. And let me bring Dominique on. She's an educator for Jarrow Formulas. Dominique, welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to have you on today.
Good morning. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you. So I'm sharing with the listener and the viewer, there's this new study talking about social interaction during chemo. And what they found was that being in the company of and interacting with patients who survived cancer for at least 5 years after completing the treatment led to an increased survival rate. To talk with them during the chemotherapy, and then after. Conversely, interacting with peers who were less likely to survive for at least 5 years also led to a decrease in the patient's chances of surviving. That makes sense. More specifically, Dominique, they found, and I'm quoting them now, quote, when the cancer patients spent time with peers who did not survive for at least 5 years, their odds of dying within the first 5 years after receiving the chemotherapy treatment were 72%. Dying. In other words, when they were hanging out with people that who did not survive, they did not either. However, when they interacted with patients who survived for at least 5 years, their odds of dying dropped to 68%. So there was an improvement. In other words, they also focused on the importance of interacting with the chemo patient during chemo and after chemo, that the social interaction seems to confer an increase in survival. And somebody asked me what was the most difficult. I think I shared this with you, Dominique. You can comment on it if you like. I think you asked me, or somebody asked me. Several have asked me. What has been the most? You asked me one day when I was very sick. I asked you to come to the house. You remember that?
I do remember it very well.
And I said to you, and I think you asked me. You said, "What's been the hardest part of all this?" And I said to you, "Being alone." And I said I wouldn't recommend it, and I wouldn't. Don't do this alone. I have no choice. Don't do this alone. That's the hardest part. And that's why I'm grateful for my friends who talk to me, and I'm grateful for the callers and the people on the show and the listeners, viewers. You have no idea how much that means. It is invaluable. This study vindicates what I've been saying all along and what I believe is the right thing to be done with cancer patients. You got to connect. So many poor souls are by themselves, Dominique.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's reflective of an overall support system? It's not just, in other words, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like if it was a nurse, for example, that was going to sit next to a chemo patient.
Oh, that's important. Oh, that's very important.
But it's an overall support system. It's somebody there when you get home. It's somebody that...
Absolutely.
It's not just somebody that's talking to you during.
Right. It's not just in the session itself, but after. Mm-hmm. And I can just tell you that trying to do this alone is very, very difficult. I don't know. I can't remember if it was you. So many people have asked me so many questions. That's why I share it. Mm-hmm. They say, well, who does all your cooking and your laundry? I said, I do.
Mm-hmm.
They said, what do you mean? I said, I do. I said, my cook went on vacation. She never came back. She went to Brazil and liked the music and didn't come back. I do. I cook. Mm-hmm. I do my laundry. I take care of the house. I do have somebody come in once a month and clean. But when you do this alone, the difficult part is just that. Because there will be times when you need somebody there to help you or to talk to somebody because you're really up against it. Gary has seen me in those moments.
Yeah, and one of the things I thought was interesting the other day that you didn't bring up was you cleaned your garage by yourself.
I did. The other day I spent 3 hours cleaning it.
And you were satisfied, but you were upset, and I was like, Doc, you're going through cancer therapy. I mean, there's not much you can do. And you go, but I felt good about myself to clean the garage.
I did. I cleaned it up, man.
There's something about, I think, when you're going through it, that the rituals that we would do when we're healthy somehow ground, give faith, give hope in our ability that we're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Those small little rituals, not to say that what your 3 hours of cleaning your garage was small, but when you're healthy, that's something we take for granted, right? That's something that you would do. Yeah, I think I'm going to go clean the garage today. It's Saturday, I've got nothing else going on. Yeah. I'm going to go clean the garage.
Gary came over to the house and helped me with an electrical problem because he didn't want me to get electrocuted. They wanted to continue to have me host and produce the show. So he fixed the switch. And then he left, and I was in the garage. I said, darn it. Oh, I said something else. I'm gonna.
He had to clean the garage so I could get into the car. Don't let him lie to you. I couldn't get into the car when it was in the garage.
I'm sure.
Because Gary's a big boy, and I couldn't open the door. I said, no, I got to fix this. So I spent 3 hours. I said, man, I did it. It was like I needed a trophy or something. It was like the Olympics. Oh, yeah, I love it. We come back. You sent me an interesting study. I think the audience will be intrigued.
Don't be stressed out or anxious.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Figures Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
my guest from Jarrow Formulas, educator for that great company. Dominique, welcome back. You sent me an interesting article, and I wanted you to comment on it, and then we'll build on it. I thought it was intriguing, and I'll let you go ahead and I'll let you do the reporting.
Okay. Well, thank you for that introduction. So even moderate weight gain in early and middle adulthood is associated with an increased risk of a range of major chronic diseases later in life, as well as reduced likelihood of healthy aging. An analysis of 2 major data sets reveals. So this came out of Dr. Frank B. Hugh. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Hu or Hugh. He's an MD, PhD of the Departments of Nutrition and Epidemiology at Harvard, at the T.H. Chan School of Public Health in Boston.
Yeah, they crank it out there, let me tell you.
They do. And he says these findings may help counsel patients regarding the risks of weight gain.
All right, so we're talking about weight gain in midlife?
No, in early adulthood.
What do they mean by early? Well, okay. Weight gain in early adulthood can have consequences in midlife. Go ahead.
So 18 to 21 years of age, that's what they're calling, and they're saying, and this weight gain of anywhere from 5.5 pounds to 22 pounds is increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, obesity-related cancers, and death in both men and women. And this research was published on July 18th in JAMA.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting about that, this not only pertains to lay people, the name of the physician will go unmentioned, but the physician's wife, whom I know, and is a nurse, said to me, I asked how her husband was doing. And I said, is he behaving himself? Meaning, is he watching his diet? She said, no. She said, since we've been married, he's gained over 50 pounds.
Whoa.
And I said, he's got to try to curb this now, because he can't, he needs to be healthy. He does complicated surgery. He's a surgeon. And she said, I know. I said, well, and he's he's sort of midlife. And I said, this is a dangerous time. This is the time when men have heart attacks, and last thing he needs to be doing is putting on 50 or more pounds.
My ex is Campanella. She's Italian, right. Mediterranean. Her mother's Hungarian. I lost weight because she cooked fresh.
There you go.
With the way she cooked.
I wanted to say to her, well, what is he eating, and where is he getting that food from? Right? What's going on at the house? And I didn't. I resisted. I wasn't blaming her, but you don't want to enable someone, right? You get my point, right?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think, it's so much more complicated than that. I think, it could very well be what was getting cooked at home, if that's the relational dynamic that exists between them and she's cooking and all of that. But it's all of the calories consumed, whatever he's eating during the day, plus a lack of movement, even though he's probably active in surgery very often and all of that. But there's still the calories in, calories expended ratio is probably very off.
Yeah, and I bring this up because I just wanted the audience to know that even physicians who are supposed to know better and know how to do better find themselves in weight gain difficulty. And sometimes my one doctor went on the Atkins diet. Mm-hmm. He was so embarrassed, he confessed it to me. Mm-hmm. And I said, don't do it. I said, this is going to be a disaster. He said, well, I have to. I got to go to this bar mitzvah. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. But he did, and I said, you're putting yourself in jeopardy. I said, you're going to lose this weight, but I said, you watch, you're going to gain back and some more. Sure enough, it's exactly what happened. I saw him not long ago, and he put it all back on and then some. So even the doctors struggle. They're human beings too.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's one of the relevant points of this study, is that Dr. Hugh, or who, however you say his name, was saying that this new data, because it's showing the increased morbidity and mortality associated with excessive weight gain, that this is in an effort to prevent and control obesity in young adults, and it should be accorded a high priority. And we're not paying enough attention.
That's an understatement.
Exactly, to this age group and addressing weight gain and obesity in young adults and children.
Dominique, it's not young adulthood. That train left the station the fat train left the station a long time ago. There are surgeons there are surgeons performing bariatric surgery on children. Children. This happened before early adulthood. In most cases, in many cases, but I don't know. I'm just saying. Am I overstating that? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that it's at this point there is just not enough attention being focused, and I don't know if it's from when we talked about on previous radio shows many times, whether it's the stigma, you don't want to bring it up, whether it's because children are now suffering low self-esteem in epidemic proportions. So you don't know if addressing their weight is then going to have a negative consequence, or the fear, as a physician, I'm sure, or I can speak for myself, having counseled adults on obesity is different and a different dynamic than counseling teenagers.
But how many adults can admit that they're fat, though, and say, I'm obese, I need help because I don't know what to do?
A lot more than an adolescent.
That's interesting.
Whatever that quantity is.
It's hard. That's why shaming and blaming somebody is not a good idea. Check this statistic out from the press release for the study, and I thank Dominique for sharing this. There were more than 90,000 women and 25,000 men in the study, and showed that a weight gain of 2.5 kilograms, that's 5.5 pounds, or 10 kilograms, that's 22 pounds, between early adulthood and 55 years of age increased the risk of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, obesity-related cancers, and death in both men and women. That's the reason why you shouldn't gain it and why you need to lose it. How you do it, that's where we can get that train to slow down a little bit. And that's what we'll talk about. How do you do it? How? The $64,000 question. You want to know what the answer is? It starts with the letter D. It's a big clue. I'll tell you what it is. to Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning in. Beginning of the week. Got to be optimistic. Coming off the weekend. Hope you did the don'ts for the weekend. Don't cheat. Don't go to restaurants. And don't go to bars. Those 3 things will get you in a lot of calorie trouble. If you want to know more about those, go to my website, the LTN Facebook page, as well as my personal Facebook page. They're hooked up. And you'll learn. You'll see a video where I talk about that with Gary, because he asked me, what shouldn't I do over the weekend? I said, at least, and I told him, he said, let's put that on, let's make a video and let's put that up. We were in a warehouse, so we're sitting on a bunch of crates. I don't care where we are. We'll get the message out. And so you can learn more about that. 3 don'ts. Don't cheat, don't go to restaurants, and don't go to bars. All 3 related to calories and food and eating and gaining weight. And if you're on a diet, don't want to do any of those 3 I explain on the video. That's my way of trying to get you to go there. And Gary will tell you how to get there.
You can go to our Facebook page. It's one word, Let's Talk Nutrition. Or you can go to Doc's Facebook page, which is Dr. Michael, one word, Garko. If you are not familiar with that, and like you've lived in a cave forever, you can also find us on Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition. And we're actually posting there more now. So
and Twitter.
And Twitter. And one of the things I wanted to say when you were talking about going out to restaurants, Trevor came up with a good idea. If you have to go out to somewhere, bring your own food.
Problem with that is people get embarrassed, and they don't like to do that, and it's too much trouble. Now, I have seen people do that.
Now, you told me to eat before I go.
Eat before you go, absolutely. If you're forced to go out to a social function and you're going to someplace where it's nothing but meat and high-processed food, and there's nothing healthy there, eat at home. Then go. Then drink water. And try to be polite. Those 3 things will get, and don't cheat. I've explained. I have a video all by itself about that. Why you shouldn't cheat. I'm not a fan. No cheating. No, sir. You can't cheat biology. Well, I need a cheat day. I need to reward myself. I thought losing the weight would be a reward. Dominique, welcome back. When you were working with patients, they want to cheat.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there can't, and really, deprivation or the sense of deprivation isn't ever sustainable for a long time. So it's important that you don't, at least when you come up with a regimen or a plan, that there isn't that overwhelming sense of deprivation. Because, again, going out to restaurants on the weekend, being social, that's all part of life, so to speak, right? It's knowing how to handle yourself when you're at a restaurant, what to order, what to look for, what to avoid, things like that.
You were talking about people gaining weight in early adulthood, right?
Right, and I wanted to make a point about that.
Please.
Actually, I was thinking about it when we went to break, that when I was dealing with adolescents, teenagers, 13, 14, 15, morbidly obese, versus an adult, talking to the teenagers about health risk went in one ear and out the other. Didn't resonate with them whatsoever. When you talk to somebody a little older, you have a better chance of it resonating. But even at that point, I remember, and I've said it on the air before, where you have somebody that's 75 pounds overweight, they smoke, they probably drink too much alcohol, they had hypertension, their diet is atrocious, and literally looking at me going, I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand how I had a heart attack. and I'm just... And you're just flabbergasted going, well, it sounds to me every minute of every day you were actually preparing for it.
Yeah, you're sort of thinking that they should know this. Just like they know not to cross the street on a red light, they should know this too, but they don't.
I think that they do, but there is such a level of denial, just absolute denial, and teenagers talking about health issues with teenagers.
Yeah, they're invulnerable.
Doesn't fly. It doesn't work.
They feel invulnerable.
We have many people in the building where we work at. We have somebody that's actually said something like, I don't know how I've got unhealthy, and you watch them eat, Doc. You said and told me, you said you just watch them eat terribly.
I've watched this individual for the last 12 years gain all of the weight, smoke, do it all. Watched right in front of me. Now, I never said a word to the person. None of my business. Came up to me the other day and said, he mentioned his age. I won't, because I don't want to give you a hint who it is. And he said, I don't understand why I'm in trouble. I got pre-cancer on my liver and this and that. And I said one word. Diet. Remember going into the last set of message? I said, starts with the letter D. Mm-hmm. Diet is the key. Diet. It begins and ends with the diet. And people say, we all know that. Well, apparently some people don't. You just said that, Dominique. They don't put it together. They don't put it together. He didn't either. He didn't either.
Your point about grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the grocery store over the weekend, there were two young guys. They looked like they were roommates. And I would say they were probably in their early 20s, and they were shopping on a budget. We get this, and their cart was filled with frozen, ready-made food. There was not a vegetable in their cart. There wasn't a bag of lettuce. There was nothing like that.
They don't know any better.
And thankfully, they were of normal weight, both of them. For how long? Not to say that their health status is good, but again, it's not even in their scope of thinking.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so I have a friend, and I'm gonna throw him under the bus because he's a good friend and he knows it. I have a buddy named Dale. We joined the police department together almost 20 years ago, 2 months apart. He's still there. He is on diabetic medication. He is on high blood pressure medication. He is on a medication because he's got gout because he sits in a police car all the time. Mm-hmm. And so he decided he was going to have a life-changing event, and he started working out. He started eating right. Mm. He hired a trainer. He hired a nutritionist.
Good.
Okay. He's no longer on the gout medication. He's no longer on the high blood pressure medication.
Good.
The doctor's scared to take him off the diabetic medication, though. But he realized his diet was his main focus, was diet. Tell him
to tune into Let's Talk Nutrition. Learn about a whole food, plant-based diet, no meat, no dairy, no oil.
I mean,
he goes on that diet for 6 months. He can fire all his doctors at that point if he wants. No, I wouldn't recommend that. You get my point. And he will never have to go on a diet again. Whether he has the wherewithal and the will to do that is another matter. But we know the answer. So my point is, you were talking about adolescence, and I said, well, the train already left the station. This happens in children. You know what? The train left the station for them too. Because I'm going to tell you about this new study from Oregon Health and Science University. A woman who is pregnant and eats a high-fat diet during pregnancy, we know epigenetically is bad news. I've reported on this before, but this is a new rendition. You think it causes physical problems. Well, it does in the offspring once a child is born. Guess what? It also causes mental health problems. What? In utero? What the mother eats could have mental health consequences once that child is born? Come back, I'll tell you more.
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends, Virilo Max, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension, exclusively available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. If you just tuned in, Dominique Clark is Dominique Ostrander is my guest from Jarrow Formulas, and talking about weight gain in adolescence, early adulthood, and how it will have effects later on in life. We can push it back even further. How about in utero? New study coming out, Oregon Health and Science University. Mother eats a high-fat diet in pregnancy. causes mental health problems in the offspring. My goodness. So there's not just physiological implications, but mental health implications connected to food consumed during pregnancy. Welcome back, Dominique. This is pretty startling. This is not the first study of its kind. This is an epigenetic kind of study. And unhealthy diet during pregnancy connected to mental health disorders such as anxiety and depression once the child is born. And as they get a little bit older, this happens in childhood. This is startling. So now that all this argument that we're making is why you need to eat healthy during pregnancy and every other time in your life. The question is, how do we get people to lose weight, keep it off? For example, we have to address that, the how. And how do we encourage them to eat a healthy diet? I mean, so if we can talk about that, that would be useful. And I don't know what ideas you have about dietary supplementation involved in the how part of it, but I'm all ears and I'm willing to consider your arguments.
You know how when we talk to people, and you being a communication expert, you would say you have to meet people where they're at.
Okay.
And I think that that's one of the biggest things that we have to do in terms of communicating the importance of diet, but meeting people where they're at. So, for example, with teenagers, meeting them where they're at and coming to them with, well, this could happen to your heart and you could face these cardiovascular events and you could develop hypertension and you're already on the borderline of type 2 diabetes and impaired cognitive function and all of these things where they literally can't wrap their mind around this. They can't grasp it. So meeting them where they're at, my experience has told me that aesthetics is where they're at. So it's not being able to shop in their favorite stores. It's how they feel when they have to go to a party because they're the biggest one in the room. It's how do they feel when they have to put on a bathing suit because they've been invited to a pool party or a beach outing or something like that? Wouldn't it be great to be able to feel good in your own skin during those things?
I went through that this weekend.
Yeah.
So in other words, trying to find some persuasive hook that
it's connecting with them in what is going to motivate them, because what motivates me might not motivate you or Gary or whomever else that we're trying to motivate to make better choices. So it might just be, at least based on this article and really trying to focus now on a younger population, it seems to me that addressing the health issues, their brain isn't even there yet. They're not thinking about the consequences of what they're doing right now, right? Because they're infallible at that age.
Okay.
Appealing to the aesthetic.
So you're meeting them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do we get them to quell their appetite and practice calorie restriction, to push away from eating not only a lot of food but eating a lot of unhealthy food? That the how part. Is there any way from a dietary supplement perspective for a moment that could support a diet and lifestyle program? Can supplements be included in such a program?
I think so. And my first thought and my educated response would say controlling their blood sugar. I think if we can control the blood sugar of adolescents, I think we have a much better chance at warding off many other health issues that will come about. If we can start with that, not only will we be helping their cravings, they'll feel better. When people's blood sugar is stable, they tend to feel better. When their blood sugar is all over the place, that's an issue. So I would start with blood sugar, and I don't think that that's an expensive investment in terms of supplementation. I don't think it's something that is too difficult to comply with.
So what supplement what supplement do you have in mind?
I'm thinking glucose optimizer. Really and truly, I think glucose optimizer is so effective, and it's an incredible blend of. It's a proprietary blend that I think it overall not only is it antioxidant support, but obviously it's blood sugar control. So I think I actually feel very strongly about this, that controlling blood sugar would be the way to go.
So if you have a client that says, okay, I'll take it, and then continues to eat the cookies, crackers, cakes, chips, cupcakes, croissants, and candy bars and cola, does the glucose optimizer does that help or no?
That's a loaded question.
Well, when we come back, we'll talk about those little C words, all those, carbs that get you into trouble. Turns out that carbohydrate is one of the primary strategies to lose weight. What? I thought Dr. Atkins said not to eat them. Well, he did. And he was wrong. At least partly, not completely. Don't want to throw him completely under the bus. We'll be back.
Looking for the perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering, you're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Did you know that 7 in 10 people have digestive issues? It's no wonder, really. When you take a closer look at what's inside, you'll see that our intestinal environment is similar to a lush garden, a flourishing biodiversity comprised of healthy gut flora. Flora that we depend upon for our health and well-being. Stress, over-sanitization, over-processed foods, and the overuse of antibiotics have clear-cut our guts, leaving our tummies feeling, well, not great. You see, what we have done by killing off the gut flora is damage the soil of our inner gardens. With damaged soil, nothing can really grow or flourish, and disease starts to set in. But we will let you in on a little secret. Fermentation makes all the difference. You know that bloated feeling you can get when taking a vegan protein? Oh, come on. We know you know. Almost all of us get it. That feeling comes from a natural protective casing that surrounds grains and legumes. Because this casing acts as a natural defense mechanism to prevent the grain or legume from being digested, the result is gas and bloating as it passes through our digestive tract. This is where the magic of fermentation comes in. Only fermentation breaks down this casing, freeing the nutrients for absorption by your body. Not only that, but it amplifies the existing nutrients. This means you are getting all the available nutrients from your protein. But there's more. Remember our garden that we clear cut? Well, fermentation, when done right, actually restores that biodiversity of flora. Fermentation naturally replenishes the soil in our garden. Can your protein powder do all that? Well, ours can. Fermented Vegan Proteins Plus by Genuine Health. 7 plant-based sources for a complete amino acid profile. No bloating, maximizes protein and nutrient absorption, and strengthens your gut health. Gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and 100% vegan. Try some today. Your gut will thank you. Genuine Health is possible.
Sometimes you can provide a particular strategy for someone to manage their weight and to keep it off, to lose it and keep it off, i.e. manage. But it can be undermined by their continued unhealthy behavior. Makes sense, right? Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. For example, you can help the patient or the client, if you're not a medical doctor and just consult, use client, by managing their blood glucose levels. Jarrow Formula makes a fabulous product called Glucose Optimizer. I have used it with clients. It works. My question to my guest is, what if the client or the patient continues to violate and will not give up cookies, crackers, cakes, chips, colas, candy bars, cupcakes, and so on? Then what? And your answer is, Ms.
There is no medication that can offset a bad diet, whether it's prescription or whether it's nutraceutical supplementation.
So you're
because even if you were on pharmaceuticals to control blood sugar, and you continue to eat a horrible diet, you wouldn't receive the benefits of the pharmaceuticals either. At some point, it would be unable to control your blood sugar.
So, in other words, you can offer dietary supplement, nutraceutical recommendations, pharmaceutical recommendations, but if the patient or the client continues to violate, then you're, I don't know, you're not making much gain there then, is what you're saying.
That's right.
That's the truth.
Exactly.
That's the truth, isn't it?
There's nothing that's going to offset it. There's nothing that can possibly undo that kind of damage day in and day out. Because we're not talking, if we're talking about the person that I think you're talking about that continues to eat the cookies, crackers, cakes, all those packaged foods, the ones that are loaded with hidden sugars, the ones that have obvious sugar, all of that on a daily basis, day in and day out, there isn't anything that's going to control that. There isn't an amount of exercise that's going to help offset those calories either.
So, at the end of the day, the patient or the client still has to exercise some change in behavior. And this is the other piece. This is where, now taking the supplement also reflects a behavioral change too. But one should not think if I take the supplement, I can violate. The supplement's gonna you can't do that. The supplement's going to assist and help you keep your blood. In this case, Jarrow's glucose optimizer, helping you to maintain good glucose and insulin levels. But you have to help your body out too with making a change in your behavior. And
absolutely,
we talk about that on the show, and that you're looking for a small win. So if you're inclined to eat 4 Twinkies a day, try eating 3.5 to start for a few days. See if you can get yourself down to 3 Twinkies. And then try to get it down to 2.5. Then 2. You don't try cold, and you just work on the Twinkies. I'm picking Twinkies, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. You take one thing and work on it. Try to reduce its intake or eliminate it. If you can't give it up altogether, go to a place where at least there's less of it, and then go to another food that you're violating and work on that one. Look for a small win. Don't try to change everything all at once. You're probably not going to succeed. We can spend more time on that, but you get my point. So taking supplements is fine as long as you're changing some behavior as well, right?
Exactly.
Now, there is a supplement that can help change the eating behavior. You all make it. You make plenty of it, and it's good. Starts with the letter F. And if you can get them to take it, that'll quell their appetite. Then they'll tend to eat less, and I'm referring to
fiber.
Yes, ma'am. You make a fabulous a couple of them, don't you?
We do. I love our gentle fibers, actually. Besides promoting bowel regularity, which is a big issue, it's not something that I know a lot of teenagers feel very comfortable talking about, but having talked to countless teenagers over the years, female in particular, bowel regularity is a big deal. And when you add in fiber, it changes a lot of their discomfort, a lot of the distension, a lot of the bloating, not to mention keeping them full and stabilizing their blood sugar. So our gentle fibers is a tremendous product, soluble and insoluble fibers.
People underestimate that, and they've said it to my face. They'll look at me straight in my eyes and say, I can't use the language. That's a bunch of related to the stuff it's supposed to help you get rid of. And they'll look at me, that's a bunch of expletive deleted. I say, no, it's not. They say, Dr. Gardner, you telling me that if I increase my fiber, I'm going to lose weight? All I'm going to do is go to the bathroom. I said, that's true. But I said, there's another, that's insoluble fiber. There's a thing called soluble fiber that expands in your stomach and makes you feel full. That's called and then you eat less. I said, that's called calorie restriction. It takes a lot of effort to persuade them that they're looking for some exotic answer. It's just fiber. Because I couldn't get them to eat vegetables, so the next option is a supplement.
Exactly. And it's very easy and convenient. So that's one of the added benefits, is that when you have a powdered type of fiber, you can just mix it in a glass of water, you could sprinkle it over food, you can mix it in a little bit of juice, and there you go, and just drink it down, and then that's it. You don't have to be bothered with it anymore throughout the day. It's not complicated.
And
you do it at night, you do it in the morning.
How many grams of fiber, soluble, insoluble, is in one serving of your like the gentle fibers or the other one you have?
There's a total in the gentle fibers. There's 9 grams of dietary fiber, 3 grams of soluble, and 6 grams of insoluble, and there is 0 sugar.
That's a lot of fiber in one serving. So if you did 3 servings, that's 18 grams of fiber. That's 18 grams that you wouldn't have had.
Right, and it's only 2 tablespoons as a serving.
Yeah, and it's not like doing 50 push-ups at one time.
Right.
All you do is open the can, take this whatever's inside there to distribute it into something or on something, and eat it and consume it. That's it. You won't be exhausted if you do that. I promise. You won't pull a hamstring on that or hurt your back. So that's how a supplement can help you change behavior. Then you start to see, oh, I can't finish what's on my plate. Progress.
Want to get at the...
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
can answer, you'll win a $25 supplement gift card. It's a true and false question. Simple. Gave the answer just a few moments ago. If a mom who is pregnant eats a high-fat diet during pregnancy, she can increase the odds of the child suffering from mental health problems later in life or in childhood, that for that matter, specifically suffering from like anxiety or depression. Is that statement true, or is that a blatant falsehood? If a mom eats high-fat diet during pregnancy, she increases the odds for that child, once born, to suffer from mental health issues such as anxiety or depression in childhood or later in life, too. True or false? Right answer, $25 supplement gift card.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
Guess. You got a 50-50 chance of being right. Tomorrow, I will be...
You're going to be on the 970 AM Tampa Bay at 8:10 in the morning with Jack and Ted.
For those of you in the Tampa Bay market, you know that AM Tampa Bay is a big show, 970 WFLA. Jack Harris and Ted have been on the air for
30-plus years.
Yeah. I mean, I remember they told me, I wasn't around, but when Noah was building the ark, they were
broadcasting from a tin can and a string in the middle of the field and built a station around them. What are you talking about?
They've been around forever. They're an institution.
They are. And they're usually number one in the morning shows in Tampa Bay, and it's an honor to be on their show tomorrow. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm nervous and I'm excited.
Well, don't be nervous. It'll be all right. These men have been my friends for years, and they're my pals, and they wanted me to come on there and chat a little bit about how do you battle cancer, and I can at least give you my take on it.
I get giddy when I see Ron Diaz walk through the studio. It's like,
yeah, I know Ronnie for years too. They're wonderful. There's about 8 or 9 stations here now in the building, so we do all right. And we're just delighted to be here and have great guests such as Dominique Ostrander. There's you, wonderful audience. Man, listen, I'm grateful. You know, Dominique, this business of weight loss, I know I've talked about it many times, but it is at the heart and soul of our health problem in this country relative to insurance, health insurance. It's one of those variables that's making it almost impossible to afford. It's just devastating people's health, and they're being treated for other diseases and disorders, but the main cause was being overweight or obese. And it's unsustainable. There's no way to sustain this. The medical complex can't do it. It can't. And the insurance can't do it either. And my prediction, if it continues this way, it's going to become so unaffordable, we'll be forced into a one-payer system. And we'll have to pay for it with taxes. We're doing this to ourselves. Nobody's doing this. We're doing it to ourselves. I'm just saying. So, glucose optimizer, the fiber products from Jarrow formula. You have some other products that can quell appetite as well, don't you?
Quelling appetite, I think it's just dealing with blood sugar. I think it's dealing with
what about the Sylvester Jamino or whatever?
Yeah, that's in glucose optimizer.
It's already in there.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it's just such an awesome blend of everything you would want.
Mm-hmm. How about increasing a little bit of protein intake to create sense of fullness? Would that help?
I think so. I think in any way, if you're eating empty calories, definitely replacing those empty calories with protein is a good choice.
You have some terrific new plant-based proteins that are out there now.
We do. Vegan, yes, our organic, vegetarian, or vegan plant proteins. Yes, they're outstanding.
Go ahead and mention them.
We have them in mocha, a salted caramel, and a vanilla spice flavor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you feel like you're committing a nutritional sin, but not really.
Exactly. Yes, good point.
Lorraine in Akron, I'm familiar with Akron, Ohio. Did they move Akron, Ohio to Alabama, Lorraine?
I thought so because I originally came from Ohio.
I'll be darned. How?
Yes.
Yeah. So you live in Akron. Where is Akron, Alabama?
Like an hour below Tuscaloosa.
Okay. So are you listening to us on the radio or on the internet?
The radio.
Oh, what's the radio station? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you. This is the first time I've listened to your program.
Well, thanks.
What did you do? Did you drop your radio and it just happened to go to that dial or something?
No, I was searching for something to listen to, and I usually listen to NPR, and I just couldn't find it because it's overcast today, so I chose the first thing that was talk.
Hallelujah. There you go. That's great. Well, what do you think? Are we doing all right, or did we put you to sleep?
No, it's fascinating. I love learning. I love to learn about everything, and especially nutrition, if it's something I can pass along to somebody else to help them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Knowledge is power.
I'm glad we found you, even if it was by accident.
Yes.
Well, if tomorrow the weather improves and you can't get us on the radio, maybe it's the bad weather that caused you to pick it up. You can go to letstalknutrition.com and listen to the show, and you can watch us there too. It's internet TV.
Thank you.
Well, we're so happy you found us. Congrats, and you won a $25 gift card on top of it.
That's even better.
That's even better. All right, we got a new listener and maybe viewer too. Lorraine, you call me back anytime you want.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. You made my day. That's wonderful. We'll take a listener any way we can get it. Thank you so much. There you go, Dominique, by accident.
That's great.
Yeah. What are you going to do today? Hang out?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Lay by the pool.
Lay by the pool right now. Put your sunscreen on. And Jarrow formulas, glucose optimizer, they're fiber products, they're protein products. They even got some plant-based ones now. All will help you in managing your weight. You'll lose it and keep it off. And stay tuned to Let's Talk Nutrition. I'll tell you more about how to lose weight and keep it off, among other things. Why? Because your health is your wealth.
As a family-owned company since 1968, Now Foods has spent the last 46 years building a legacy in the natural health industry as a trusted leader.